Alrighty, I think we're ready to get started. Welcome everybody, those watching the VOD after the fact and those watching live. Yesterday we left off on Skylight Mavi, build 6000, I believe. And we'll be picking it up today, discussing it, and then continuing on from there to the modern Skylight era, because we're right now in what I would call the golden age. You know, we have early Skylight, the golden age, and then you have modern Skylight up here, and then the next generation of Skylight. But we'll start here with the Mavi. That's where we left off. We'll just go and go through the installation again, because why not? So, as I said before, Skylight Mavi is one of my favorite versions of Skylight. And the reason that it's one of my favorites is because, well, it's kind of when everything kind of came together. Everything made sense. Everything was starting to become something I could understand to make. And I felt like I was pretty much at the peak of like how I could make operating systems at the time. It's like, well, this is where I'm at. This is about as good as it's gonna get. And it's reliable. We'll just skip through that part because that part's really boring. But I think the out of box experience is the same or slightly different. I can't remember. All right, it's the Windows 11 one. So yeah, just like before, we can actually switch to other, and then we'll continue. Again, I apologize for the background flickering. That's a bug with Google Slides. I can't really do anything about that. We'll choose family this time. Again, I'm just kind of going through this because we did this last night. Skylight Mavi really, for me, was kind of like the Windows 10. Everything kind of was just mid to late Windows 10. Everything was very mature. Um, before Microsoft started putting a bunch of AI stuff into Windows 10, it was kind of very mature, and that's what Mavi kind of felt to me as parallels. So we'll go and kind of skip through this a little bit. And here we are on the desktop. The taskbar is incorrect on that first startup slide, but here we are. Pretty basic, pretty standard everything here, right? Clock and your date, volume, Wi-Fi, the weather. Then you get your icons and your taskbar, and of course the Skylight button and Skylight menu. This is one of my favorite Skylight menus I've made. I like the little widgets. I like the options here. You can view all the programs. Yep, pretty much all of the programs right here anyway, though. And then you have recommended apps. Um, you could shut down or do whatever. I can sign out through here. Very mature start. Excuse me, Skylight menu. It's not a start menu. Can't call it that. The About Skylight box is a lot better in this version. And you can view more and have all the stuff here anyway. Interesting that there's a slash there on the copyright. The window borders have changed. They're just like they are in modern Windows. No more kind of copying Windows 7. Here's Enter. Very nice homepage, honestly. I'm a big fan of this homepage. You have the weather here. You have a spot for advertisements homepage. Get Google. Oh, something around here. Oh, you can click on that. And it brings you to Google. Interesting. And then, of course, you could view the info about Enter right here. Version 0.6. You can actually see this has got the wrong theme on it, but it's got different buttons. So that's interesting. And you can see Gmail going away, even though it's still here. So it's interesting. But yeah, Mavi. I think Mavi introduced the relaxed. No, I think that was in Oxford. I can't remember what's new inside of Enter other than just the new kind of layout. Um, backgrounds.com is going to stay the same. Google's still Google. We can download RAM. Oh, here we go. This is what's interesting. This is a potentially dangerous website. You can see the lock there. That's what the feature was. That's what it was. Um, let's see. Let's download some RAM. I can't download RAM. So we'll boot up into the recovery. See, this has been a little bit redesigned, more flat. I mean, this is when Skylight was really turning into Windows a little bit. You can see here in the troubleshoot options and all that. This is pretty similar to Windows. We'll skip through all this. Sign in. Here's the weather widget. Never finished, of course, in a final release. Then you have your Windows 11 style Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It does open up the same thing. Files is, I think, a little bit different. I think these are new up here. So a slight redesign. Otherwise, it's still the same. Except now you have icons down here for some reason. I guess you have a downloads folder now. Go inside of these. Registry viewer. That's new, I believe. So you can look in the keys, apparently. I think that's it for the Files app. Still have the little icon with the actual correct logo up there. Yeah, and that's just all in here. Skylight Media Player, this is going to be the exact same. This really never changed after I got this design. I'm not sure why I didn't decide on trying to redo it, but it really stayed the same throughout these Skylight versions. Settings, just finalizing the look and feel of it. And, of course, all these work, well, except activation. But here's your Skylight about and all that. Power, just a basic redesign of the settings app. And, this worked really well. This was a lot like Windows 11, but kind of with the Windows 10 theme going on. It was like a hybrid of those two. These never had icons. I remember that. But yeah, this is Skylight Mavi. Task Manager, same as it was before. You can end tasks. Skylight Presenter's different now. This is part of the Skylight Office suite. So this was one update Mavi got over the time it was in support, quote unquote, with Skylight Office. This was brand new, and you can see the what was it? Skylight Right? Yeah, you can see the old logo for Skylight right here, and then you can see the new one. A little bit interchanged. But yeah, this is what Skylight Office looked like. You can see these were the first 4. Mail as well. Let's see if Mail is actually in this version. I don't think it is. No, it doesn't appear to be. But yeah, this was the first kind of... What? Interesting. I'm trying to click on Skylight Presenter. There we go. Weird little bugs everywhere. That's something with these Skylight versions. You'll notice is that there's a lot of bugs. A lot of bugs. Let's see. Yep, this is Skylight Presenter version 0.4. And I think that's about it. Weird how that doesn't work. You would have thought I would have tested that. But I think that's it for Skylight Mavi. Even though I'm saying, oh, it's refined, it's all this, it's still got a lot of bugs in it. But compared to the other versions of Skylight, it was a lot better, especially in the looks department. We cannot go through here because we're skipping a version if we do that. Because the version that we're going to be that Mavi skips on the installer is Skylight Mirage. Mirage has an interesting backstory behind it. It was a very, very rushed development and release because, I'm trying to remember. I might have to pull up Discord just to try to remember what this was. But there was another competitor OS at the time that was brand new to the scene. I don't know if I'm gonna find it yet because it was a long time ago. I mean, this is 2022 we're talking about, so I'm gonna have to go way back just to try to remember. I can't remember the name, but oh, it's not gonna be in here. It's gonna be in Tech General actually. I'm looking back at the Mixer Dude server. I recommend looking in there if you want to be a part of the Google Slide OS community. It's pretty much where everyone has come together. Um, I think I'm close to there. This is after. I think it might have been Continuum, maybe. I'll find it eventually. I'm sorry for the wait, but I will find this. I'm dedicated now. So this is 2022, late or mid to late 2022. I'm still in 2023, which is going to be Skylight Neptune territory or server and stuff. All right, this is taking too long. This is taking too long. It's in here somewhere. Splash OS. Yes, that's what it was. Splash OS was looking really competitive in the OS space, and it, I was like, "Uh oh, Skylight's gonna have a competitor for the first time in its history," and so it was kind of rushed. There was a lot of features that I wanted to get out super early, so it was very rushed. Didn't like it. There was only one development build the whole time, 5904. And this is something I never explained. I apologize for never explaining this. The build numbers. So the way that the build numbers work for development builds is the amount of changes. Um, because when you go to you go into history, you can see how many changes were made to different or how many changes were made on certain dates and stuff. So I would go through whenever I felt like this is a decent spot in time to make a copy and be like, oh, this is a build. It's just random exports. That's what they are. Just randomly throughout the development build process, I would go and be like, yep, this is the new build. It's usually after I finish like a major part or when I have a lot of things done. That's when I'm like, okay, this is the quote unquote build. And that's how the development builds got their numbering. Now we haven't gotten to that part in the modern era, but every release was a iteration of 1000 on the build number, and that's how it went by. So Sapphire was 1000, Capri was 4000, Mirage was 7000, and that's kind of how it worked. Mirage was the last version to do this because it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, okay, well, we're on Skylight version 11, Skylight S version like 8 or 9, and then it's build 7000. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And we'll get to Skylight Neptune, Azurine, Serenity, technically, or the Insider, and then Cerulean, and how those are progressing. But we're gonna go and just have to start at Mirage. So 0.11. This is one of my least favorite versions, and this was shoot, totally forgot to bring up a point about Mavi. Can't believe I forgot about this feature. Sorry, let me backtrack a little bit here. Skylight Mavi was the first version to use the Chrome extension for the clock. So if you don't know what that means, there is a Google Chrome extension that makes it so you can have a working clock. The reason I forgot about this is because it doesn't work down here. This was the only app that used it, and I really didn't like the extension at the time because it wasn't too powerful. You could view the time right here. You have stopwatch that you could start um, and stop, and then kind of go back to. It didn't work very well. Still doesn't work very well. And then timers, of course. Go count down a 1 minute timer, and then you press R, or it's a different button now. I think it's E. Yeah, you can press E to reset it. And this was the first time the extension was used is in the clock or timer app. Or does it change? Nope, it's called the timer app. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't like this extension at all. So I didn't use it much in Mavi. Well, everyone else started using it for their clocks and stuff. I'm like, oh, I gotta catch up. So it, Mirage was the first version to really include it. So let's go through the installation process. We'll go and install. This has been pretty much the same since Skylight Sapphire. If you haven't noticed, we can actually view the about, which is a little bit different than it was before. This is still broken, of course. We'll skip through this. But yeah, I mean, a lot of holdovers, and the Skylight at this point was really kind of getting bloated. It wasn't too bad. It's just the look wasn't what it is now with Neptune, and we'll get to Neptune in just a couple of minutes. So here's the out of box experience. It's the exact same. You're not missing out on anything. Again, it was rushed. Uh, Although there is one thing that's different with it. There's an ad in here. I'm not sure why I thought this was a good idea, but there's an ad for Skylight Office, and even if you decline, uh, it's too bad. You already are. You're gonna test Skylight Office no matter what. So we'll go and test it for free. I'm not sure why I decided to include an ad. I think I just wanted to pad out the out of box experience like Windows was doing at the time, and I'm just in retrospect, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Maybe don't copy that part of excuse me. Don't copy that part of Windows. We'll go and skip through this, and here we are. This is Skylight's second ever split taskbar design. The first one was in Skylight Tech Demo, and this one is, I'd say, worse than that one. So on your left, you only have the Skylight button. In the middle, you got your apps. On the right, you have your like weather and time and all that fun stuff. So right away you're like, oh, okay, brand new taskbar. It doesn't look the greatest, and I will admit I'm horrible at designing split taskbars. Uh, Skylight. Oh, please remember Serenity. No, how do I not know the newest Cerulean? Oh, there's too many versions of Skylight. But with Cerulean, the newest version, it took so long to get a split taskbar that I actually liked the look of. It took multiple days, and this was kind of what the original mock-up looked like. Here's the Skylight menu. It's interesting stuff. You get a couple larger widgets in here. You get a recommended app, most used. Then you can go by old programs, and you have folders, which is interesting. That's brand new. So this is a lot better than it was before, but I don't think this is all your programs because I don't see settings in. Oh no, settings is in its own folder. Okay. Well, you can't even go back to most used. We'll go and do that ourselves. Wow, a lot of things are broken. Can you tell it was a little rushed? But yeah, we do have the working clock in the bottom right. Forgot to mention that. But yep, here's the Skylight menu. It's got a couple quick launch things here. You can sign out and do all that fun stuff. Enter is, I believe, the exact same. Yeah, exact same. Never. It wasn't even touched. It does have this tabbed interface that goes away, or a new looking kind of tab thing that goes away as soon as you go to a different website. Oh, that should work. Yeah, here you go. Skylight News is here. But I think that's it. I don't think anything else updated with Enter. Files is the exact same. Um, Media player is the exact same. Settings is the exact same. Task manager is slightly different, but I mean has the same. Oh no, 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 no! Never mind. It is not the exact same, or it is the exact same, except when you first launch it, then it's different. Oh man, interesting. Skylight Presenter has a launch thing now. So that's great. Not sure why I decided to include that. Can you tell I don't like this version very much? It's apparently the same version as what was in Mavi, but man, this is the exact same, right? It's not. It's not an improvement. Skylight Right, it's gonna be the same way. You gotta wait for this thing to load, and then you have to click too. Oh, it's awful. Oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, here we go. Now we have Mail. And Mail, this was a good app. This was a decent looking app. Here's your about. It's part of the Skylight Office suite. Um, you should be able to click on these. There you go. So here's an email from Skylight, from the actual Skylight email account, except it's the wrong one. Then we have Jane Doe. Oh man, can I get the Jane Doe? Come on, I want to see. There we go. So Jane Doe sent an email today at 6:09 a.m. saying, "I will be sending you an email every day until you give me $5,000. With best regards, Jane Doe." So maybe one day we'll get uh we'll give Jane $5,000, but you never know. Very basic app though. This is it. It's a fun little Easter egg, I guess, for Jane Doe. Here's your widgets panel thing that Windows 11 has, except done worse. You have local traffic. Um, the headline, the one headline that there is. Yeah, and here's the weather. This is not on the home screen at all, but if you misclick multiple times, you get brought here, and you can see it's very basic, nothing too special here. And then the photos widget will always infinitely load. Here's wow, I just realized that's what flashes up when you click on a menu. They go brighter. This one's especially bad. But a slight redesign on this, more buttons that you can't really do much with. I think focus was at one point able to. Oh man, I can't believe I blue screened my own operating system. A lot of broken things. So yeah, Scully at this point, it's just a buggy mess. And you can see this is all the same as well. Oh, this is the repair tool. It still has the old theme on here too. We'll go and restart. Oops. Let me pause the live stream. Here's the lock screen. It's been redesigned. Doesn't look great. It's hard to put the timer in the middle of the screen because it's left aligned. Even if you try to center it, it just doesn't work. But yeah, this is Skylight Mirage, one of my least favorites. Uh, my big three for duds is 0.4.1, Capri, and Mirage. Although Zool's kind of up there too. It really didn't do anything. But yeah, Skylight at this point is just really buggy. And so we'll upgrade the Skylight Neptune through the installer. And boy, Skylight Neptune was a whole thing. I'm actually going to go press escape here real quick just to show you the timeline here. This is from, I believe, July or August. I think this is August and then to December. So that's about a little under half a year it took to make Skylight Neptune. And, because I have more time tonight than I did last night, let's go and look at Skylight 1908 2201C 8000A. Great naming scheme here. It's only 35 slides, and you'll see immediately why. So you can see these are redesigned, these little window close buttons and all that. I think this is going to be, press it, boot to USB, and then we have the Windows logo. So what this particular version of Skylight is a concept at the very loosest definition of the term. You can see we have that realistic resolution. Now, go ahead and install. So I made a Windows 10 clone in Google Slides and only ever made it to the desktop. But it looked pretty much just like this, except, I put Skylight in, just a couple spots just to see what it would look like. And you can see I didn't go that far with it. But just to see what it would look like if I remade the Windows installer basically one to one and then put Skylight all over it. That's what this concept was. So we'll skip this because that takes forever. We'll go ahead and boot. Still has the Windows logo, of course. Getting devices ready, starting services, just like Windows 10. We'll skip through this, and this out-of-box experience will just be Windows 10.
Your region is set to
And
the
we
United
we
States.
even have
Is that right?
Cortana. I remember I input Cortana into the Google Slides
Your
operating system,
keyboard is
which
set
is kind of
to
crazy.
US. Want to stick with that?
You can see even goes to listening. Isn't
Do
that
you
kind of
also
crazy?
type with another keyboard layout?
Is it gonna go to listening? Yeah, there goes the listening. It doesn't actually listen. That's not possible, but very Windows 10 like here.
All right, you're connected. Now, we'll check for any updates.
Man, Cortana had a terrible voice back in the day, back in 2015. Wow, that's 10 years ago. Oh, Windows 10 is
Type what
old.
you want to name your account.
Yeah, we'll name it administrator and
Okay,
we'll go through
these are
it.
the settings Microsoft recommends. Go
Everything
ahead
off.
and
All right, you can't have any of them on. We'll skip through the gaming. This was yeah, then we're giving free trial of Skylight Office, and it's just a bunch of yeah, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, of course.
okay, that's the last step.
I can't remember how this went through.
We need to get a few more things polished up for you, and Windows will be all yours. Looking forward to helping out.
She says Windows, but it says Skylight. Oh, it actually does continue from here. I thought I had to press a key. But yeah, this was a recreation of Windows 10. I just put some Skylight stuff in here. So that's what this weird version of Windows or Skylight is. We'll restart, and then yeah, here's the Windows 10 login screen. And then yeah, and that's it. That's it. There's nothing past the desktop. It is just the installer. And that's what that first version. There's no build number because it doesn't make sense to have a build number. But let's go to. We'll show some development builds from here on out because why not? We'll go to what is this one? This is 10,606. So the build numbers from here on out are. This is the reset point. It was right here. This line right here. This invisible but kind of visible line. This was the reset point, and everything continuing on would just build up the number. And that's why we got to 45,480 up here, right? Because every change just kept adding on to the previous number. So here we are. This is a development build of Skylight. Don't worry, I'm not going to get in any trouble. I'm the owner of Skylight, so I can't get in any trouble. We'll go through the installation. I can't remember how much of this is going to be redone. Oh, the startup screen has not been redone yet. It's still got the old logo, the four squares logo. We'll skip through that. And that was another thing. Skylight switching back to its kind of rhombus or whatever these are called logo, and it's just because it's more original than literally Windows 11. Um, it's great. It's great branding, and there was no reason to go to the four squares in the first place. So as you can see, this is just like the Windows 10 installer, and it's got the realistic resolution, quote unquote, as we go through. And Neptune was supposed to be the be all end all, right? This was going to be the best version of Skylight, the best Google Slide operating system ever, right? And nothing was ever going to beat it. I honestly don't think anything has come to anywhere close to looking like this. Even to this day. I mean, I've seen a couple of concepts that people have made. I'm not sure finished, but we're gonna skip through this. That takes forever. But I mean, I've seen people try to make stuff that looks really nice, and I get worried every time I see a nice looking Google Slide OS because I'm like, oh, competition, uh oh. But no, I mean, Skylight Neptune was, I mean, years ahead of everything else. I believe this will be installing excuse me, Graphics X3 or no X2. You can see in the command prompt. And that's the graphics subsystem, quote unquote, of Skylight. Oh, look at that. Click to skip OOBE because it's just the
Your
window.
region is set to view.
We'll skip that. um, so here we are. At the oh, interesting. So you can see very buggy still, but this is the development version, and the desktop looks just like it did in Skylight Neptune. The start menu, or Skylight menu, you can see there's a bunch of things in here that I was keeping track of, like getting rid of a couple of apps, or maybe updating a couple of apps, and other stuff like that. This is pretty much what it looked like. You can see we have the Skylight Store. This was random loading bar over here, but this was brand new. You can see it says preview. Doesn't even have an icon yet. We have a couple of apps in here that we can't click on. Skylight Store was going to be something special, and then it really didn't become anything. Skylight Right. This is going to be the same version as before. Yep. This hasn't been updated, but Enter has been updated, and wow, that looks like a web browser now, like an actual web browser. I think this is based off of Edge at the time. Technically, this is a different logo than before, but it isn't. But all these apps. Oh, I'm not sure if these actually all work. Oh, yep. YouTube's been redesigned. It looks like the YouTube homepage. Uh, the home button doesn't work. Amazon still the old one. I think. Oh, Skylight.com is a little different. So we have news. I think this is still me grabbing articles from the Onion, which I ended up just not doing. I either had AI write some because this is when AI was brand new, or I came up with some weird ideas and just kind of wrote a little bit about them. Oh, Maps doesn't work. We'll skip through that. Oh no, it does. Oh, you can see this is just a Google Map screenshot, but I think this one, yeah, these are all a bunch of lines, right? So you have some polyline over here, same thing here and here. Yeah, look at all those clicks I had to do. Same thing with some of these streets, or pretty much all these streets. Yeah, just chose a place at random. You can see it was a lot of work. This was a lot of work to do. Uh, Oop, let me just break the builds, and then we have Apple Park, which isn't done yet. It's just the screenshot, of course. Here's Amazon. Hasn't been updated. We already looked at that. Discord hasn't been updated. Spotify was going to be an app, but I was like, oh, I already have my media player. We don't need it. Oh, right. Relax has sort of been updated. It's got the new window border, but it's pretty much the same thing. I think I kept it like that in the final release. And then we have the weather app, which is not totally complete. There is no radar yet, but this is pretty much what it looked like in the official release. Files hasn't been done yet. Media player looks different. So this is a new look for Skylight Media Player. We still have Never Gonna Give You Up. We'll play a little bit there. And then we, of course, also have our two videos, two fully legal versions of SpongeBob. I think has this been fully updated? A little bit. It's called Skylight 0.12. Task Manager's been redone. Yep. None of the buttons. Oh no, not all of it's been redone. Only this one, and we can't do anything. So that's being worked on. Oh wow, this is being worked on heavily right here. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here, but you can see that's in the middle of development. Search didn't work. I believe this is what it looked like in the final version, and then that's not. And then you have your notification panel, which is slightly different. And this is interesting. This is something that only Neptune has. Is right here, the show desktop button. It just closes everything. It doesn't actually show the desktop, but you can see Skylight Neptune looks beautiful. Looks just like maybe an actual version. You can see the side panel comes out. You can see some of the widget that were getting changed because it was kind of just a copy of Windows 10. So we'll go and shut down. You can see not everything's done. Of course, it's just a development build. And so let's go to Skylight Neptune, the official release. I'm out of water. That's unfortunate. So let's go and boot this up. Skylight Neptune, just like it was in the final build. We'll go through, we'll click next, check mark, of course, all this, skip through this because it takes so long. Skip through the boot screens. We'll show this off because we have a new out of box experience. It's similar to what we had in the previous versions of Skylight, but updated to look like it's supposed to fit in with Neptune. So this is the correct country. We'll go through this. Give it some time to load. Yep, we're using United States keyboard. Gotta check for those updates, of course. Set it up. I think these both go to the same things, but we'll go to personal. We'll have our username type in itself. That was one thing Skylight Neptune. Well, it was one of the big things, having the password actually type itself out and make it look like it was being typed in. That was a huge thing. We're gamers, so we'll game, and we'll skip through this part. And here we are, Skylight Neptune. Man, this has got to be the. You can see this is the animation slide. Never actually got done, but you can scroll. You can click on this. You can load Skylight Mail. This hasn't been updated, so not every app has been fully redesigned. Mail is an example, and I think settings is another example of things that didn't fully get updated. But enter, you now have Amazon. This looks way better. So you now have the S22 instead of the S20. You have iRobot. This is when they were going nuts on Amazon, and when graphics cards were available, sort of. We were still dealing with GPU shortages with the 4090. And then Yeti microphone, very good microphone. You're currently listening to one. But yeah, this looks just like Amazon for the most part. You can add it and then it doesn't work. YouTube looks the same as it did. The home button actually works. Skylight, the homepage looks a lot better. News, you actually have some articles. The train one's still here, but I think this is written by AI now. Because, I mean, AI was brand new at the time, and everyone loved AI. Unlike now, where everyone hates AI. This was when AI was socially acceptable to use. Back in 2022. Green Bay Packers are not actually green. Ugh. Rogers, what are we doing? Got some great articles, of course. Get name finger. Forgot about these. Skylight Office. This is it. You can't see billing details. Maps. You can see this is when I noticed, hey, Maps kind of doesn't work sometimes. So it worked that time. I'm kind of surprised it did. We have Skylight Relax, which is just how it was before, and then we have the weather, which now has the radar. It doesn't use the very detailed map that we already had. This just uses Google Maps, even though it says it's powered by Skylight Maps. But yeah, we have a 3-loop radar, which is pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it's kind of cool to have one of these. Kind of hard to make fake radar, but it's okay. Discord updated. You can download it, or you could try. Oh, or you could go to here. Forgot that's the old sound Discord used to make. Now it doesn't make that noise anymore. Google, it's been redesigned. You can click on this, and you can have all of your websites like you had before. These websites have been updated to fit the new thing. Click on them. Here's your new user permissions box. We'll go and get a blue screen in a minute. Apple, this is when the 14 was new. You could buy the iPhone 14, and you could actually choose the color. Isn't that interesting? And then you can see your thing going through. But yeah, you could actually buy the iPhone. You could choose, if you wanted pink or if you wanted maybe gold or if you wanted maybe space gray. Add it to your bag and there you go. I'm not sure what else you can buy. Oh, you can buy the MacBook Air. So there you go. I think you can buy the iMac. Yep, buy the iMac just like that. Can't buy the iPad. Can't. Oh, this is when the Ultra was brand new, but you can only can't buy it though. AirPods. I remember this was really hard to find this image for. Oh, you can actually buy them. You can actually buy the AirPods. TV and home. This was also really hard to find the image for. But that I don't think you can actually go anywhere else. Yeah, that's it for the Apple website. Yeah, you can buy the iPhone. You can choose it in gold, and that's it for Enter. Just like Edge, just kind of copying its design, trying to learn how to make everything look even better than it did before. Um, yeah, this stuff just looks like it. Just looks like the actual website. It is kind of crazy. Settings isn't updated, but Task Manager is actually here and it works. And we'll go to blue screen like this. And yeah, this also just looks like the Windows blue screen. Oh, you gotta click on this one. You can't just forward it. So yeah, Skylight Neptune was a huge release of Skylight. Really did just redefine everything. Still part of the Skylight S kernel, but it was Graphics X2 that really did all the hard working. For this one, your PC ran into an error. You get that realistic resolution. Advanced startup looks about the same. Um, version 2.1. You can see a new dialog box. So that's about it for that. We'll reboot. Actually have the correct background on there. And yeah, that's Skylight Neptune. Oh, we gotta go through here. Yeah, this is all the same as it was before. And you have your notification panel. Uh, but yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and then you have your widgets panel. You can see the weather, some articles. And then you click on this, you can view your full forecast. But yeah, I think that's it for Skylight Neptune. We can view the about here. Um, Here it is. Slightly different box for this. Photos. Oh yeah, the Photos and Cameras app. Here's the Photos app. It looks like this now. Uh, Here's your camera. You can actually change the settings on your camera. This is I think similar to what it was before though. Can't remember. Yeah, none of this stuff has been updated yet. So Skylight Right still has not been updated, but it's got the new icon. Let's see what else. Presenter. So all of the Skylight Office stuff has not been updated. I don't think so. That's unfortunate. Spreadsheets is new, I believe. Definitely a part of the Skylight Office. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I don't know if these tools have been redesigned, although I can't click on any of them. Oh, and then files. Totally forgot about files. Yeah, straight rip from Windows 10, and this is actually, you know, made in Google Slides. All these icons are ones just taken. They're barely any of these buttons actually work, but you know, this is all made in Google Slides. So let's see if I can try to access like Registry Viewer. Uh, Here we go. So here's Registry Viewer. It's got a new design. Got some different icons here, but you can only go through those two things. I believe that should be it though. Clock has been redesigned. It's got different looking buttons, but it does all the same stuff as it did before. And yeah, I think that's it. Skylight Store. I wonder if we can launch the store. Oh yeah, here we go. Skylight Store beta. So yeah, this is linked to just random games and stuff. Where's the back button, bro? Yeah. Yeah, Skylight Store never really went anywhere. I thought Tips maybe was an app. Oh yeah, and then the search bar here didn't really do much. Yeah, no, Tips is not in here. Interesting. All right, well, that's Skylight Neptune. We'll go on and move to Skylight Azurine. We'll start with the this one. We'll look at the development build. Release candidate 1, codename Azurine. You can see we have a background now, which makes this look a little bit better. Windows 11 pre-install environment. Kind of went with the Windows 11 theme or the out-of-box experience theme. Kind of tied the whole operating system together. We'll choose that one. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you see, it didn't go the whole way through, but it kind of did. So, it was halfway there. And that's the fun thing about the development builds. You get to see what was done and what wasn't. The out of box experience will be the exact same, as it didn't change from Neptune to Ezrine anyway. So we'll just skip through this. Oh, you have a domain login now for the pro or the worker school account, so you can enter in a domain and then click next. Nothing special, just a random extra little feature. We're gaming. Oh, I think I misclicked again. Oh well. You can name your PC. I wonder what else there is. This should be it. Oh, I misclicked. That's what it was. Oh no, this links back to here. Okay, so it's just broken. So we'll wait. What is this? Okay, yeah. So a lot of broken stuff in Skylight. We'll skip through this. And this is Skylight Azurine, or the development build. You can see the clock is completely, wrong. Gotta love it though. Basically, just a Windows 11 start menu. So here's your about and all that fun stuff. That's pretty much the same. Azurine really wasn't that big of an improvement because there really wasn't anywhere to improve on. You could see me messing with File Explorer or trying. Oh man, this was something. Wow, this is a File Explorer if I've ever seen one. I don't remember this, but wow, this looks like the settings app, but made made into a File Explorer. Very interesting. Oh wow, and it was like kind of half baked. Man, only half baked though. So that's interesting. This is not what it was in the final release. You can see the taskbar changing. Media player is getting another update. Now it looks like iTunes or Apple Music. We have some songs in here. These are songs that I can actually play. That's loud. But yeah, we have songs that we can actually play on YouTube. These are from the audio library. If you want to know what song's my favorite of these four, it's this one. I don't know, it's just got such a fun title. You can see it progress through the song up here. I don't think it actually perfectly matches up, but it's close, I think. I don't remember entirely. So we'll go ahead and stop that. And then, of course, our SpongeBob episodes. Here's Task Manager. I don't think that ever changed, but settings did. So this is really what Azurine did. This was the whole point of the update, was the new settings app. Yeah, I mean, it really was the settings app. It was just a redesign. It really made it look like Windows 11. Controls just like it did before AirPods Max. I remember when I had those and they worked. But yeah. Yeah, it's just Windows 11 settings menu, really. Except security and update are one category. You can check for updates here. This looks like it's finished, so interesting. Yep, there we go. So like accounts, and I don't think apps is gonna be, yeah. So some of the stuff isn't fully done yet, but a lot of the stuff is. So that's the development build of Skylight Azurine. We'll go and this is gonna be the same. This is gonna be the same. Our notification panel is slightly different. But yeah, this was part of the Skylight Insider program. If you don't know what that was, ooh, here we go. Actually, hold up. We're gonna have some special apps. So Skylight GPT. Oh, I remember. This was made by someone else. So this was when the store actually kind of meant something. This is made by Nitrogen LLC, and it's a chat bot. So you can ask it a brief description, and it gets that. You can tell it the current version. Do anything now? Interesting. Custom. Interesting. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, that's interesting in the store. There's some other apps in here, like the media player is in here for some reason. But we also have Skylight Inventor. This is something that never, I don't think, actually made it to the final release of Skylight. This is CAD. This is like CAD, but for Skylight. I'm not sure why I decided to do this. I remember this was when I was kind of in freshman year of high school, and we were doing CAD in my like intro of engineering class, and I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go make CAD in Skylight." So, uh, this app never made it, I don't believe, but here it is, part of Skylight Office, because this is what you use in the office. But yeah, Skylight Inventor, very cool. And then we also have the Getting Started app. This is I remember this now. This is the tips app that I thought there was in Neptune. So you can go and skip through these perfectly for your files and all that. I think this is pretty similar to what Windows 11 had. Let's take a look at the insider thing, right? And then you have a feedback button. Yeah. So what Skylight Insider was, I never explained this, but it you could sign up using the Skylight email, and you could be like, "Hey, I want the Skylight Insider version." And then you could get access to the live copy that I was working on. So you could see the development process. Oh, this is another new thing: is the Skylight Office app. So you can see the new icons coming into use. So like presenter has the P, right? Has the W. Spreadsheets has the S, and so on. I'm not sure if Mail had anything. Mail's been slightly redesigned, I think, just slightly. Yeah, welcome to the new Skylight Mail. Very similar, just slight tweaks. But yeah, oops, clicked the wrong button. Got to hear the nice, lovely chime. But yeah, Skylight Presenters slightly different, but mostly the same. And this was Skylight Office 0.4. Okay. Yeah, you can see the larger logo here. I was actually really proud of these geometric shapes being the icons for Skylight Office. So we'll go and take a look at the most recent build because version 13 is basically the same as 13.1. All right, so this was recently the most recent version of Skylight. Oh, what am I thinking here? Was the most recent version of Skylight, or it was a few days ago, but on Valentine's Day, new Skylight version dropped. So very similar installer, except we can see we have some redesigned buttons that look more like Windows 7 because of course they do. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same as it was before. We'll skip through some of this just because it's going to be the exact same as it was before. This only takes a few moments. It doesn't actually take a few minutes, so we can actually stay here on this installing screen. And this was so much better than the one in Neptune. It took so long to install Neptune. It was insane. But this is a lot more reasonable. Or at least I thought it was. Here we go. So it finishes up. go and restart. So very similar to what it was before. This is going to be the exact same, so we'll skip through it. And here we are at the desktop. Pretty much the same as the development build. You know, the idea was there. Here's your Skylight menu. All of the apps now have their actual icons in here, like spreadsheets and all that. Enter is going to be the exact same as it was before, except now it says point one because I think there's like a couple of updates I put in here. But really, everything is the same as it was. Oh, here you go. Skylight Office 4. This is different. A little brief description on each app. Relax is updated. So the Skylight Relax app or website is now updated. It's got the new look to it. We can listen to it for 1 millisecond. It's got a new video as well, and so that's it. That's all we can play. Can't play too much, or the copyright people get angry. Here's the File Explorer app. This is actually a really nice design. I like what I did with this. It isn't like that half baked settings and files app. This is pretty much the Windows 11 one, just without tabs. You can see all the files here. Here's your music. Here's your pictures. Lakeview.jpg. Your videos. This PC. Registry viewer is going to be the same. Now, there's a lot of apps in this version of Skylight. If you go to all apps, here's all your apps, including Office and Tools. And, you know, you have your camera, and then you have your photos, which you can then view. But this is when Skylight was pretty bloated. Like all these tools, you have disk management, which has been interesting, a little buggy, but you know this has been in here for a while. These checkmark buttons have been old. They're old. This whole thing hasn't really been updated. Plus, who's using that, right? Um, Remote desktop connection. This was added, and I totally forgot this app existed. I think this was added in Oxford or Capri, and I totally forgot this existed. But it has not changed at all. You know, the icons changed, I believe, and you know this is slightly different, but there's been no point to this app in its entire history on Skylight. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Troubleshoot. This was supposed to be something, but it never became anything. So you know, love when that gets shipped to the final build. Skylight Office has a new app called Film Point, and actually you can see that all the icons in here are actually the old ones. Here's Film Point. This is it's like Movie Maker, but you can't really do anything, and it looks incomplete. So that's kind of unfortunate. Would have been kind of cool to have a video editor kind of thing looking like in Skylight, but you know, you have Presenter. This is all the same as it was in the development build. Media player is just like it was before. Settings is like it was before, but it's fully updated. There's only one thing that isn't updated, I believe, and that's if you go to the mobile hotspot. Yeah, this is the only thing that never got updated was the mobile hotspot. Everything else is updated and has all these nice, pretty icons and all that. And yeah, that's Skylight Azurine 0.3.1. Task Manager is going to be the same as the Neptune. This is the same, just with a little bit of a different background. And yeah, these haven't changed as well. So Azurine, just a small upgrade over Neptune. I mean, it was really hard to improve past Neptune. And so Azurine really wasn't much. And I don't much like the 13.1 update. It really just, I just don't like this background type. You know, I at the time loved these like kind of, I don't know, vector art backgrounds, but now I'm kind of over it. Not a huge fan of these two. I mean, they are very pretty, and whoever made them did a really good job, but you know, they're just not my cup of tea. And that's it for these official builds. Yeah, this is when Skylight kind of just went on a hiatus. There was already a 1 year gap between Neptune and Azurine 13.1, and it's because, you know, I kind of got bored of Skylight. I've already peaked at Neptune, really. Ezreen put in a couple of nice features, nice to haves. There was Skylight Server, which was Skylight Server was kind of dumb because it really was just Skylight with most of the features removed in this one app that you couldn't really do anything in. And it was just like Windows Server because I remember at the right around this time I got a server and I used Windows Server on it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I should make a Skylight version of this." And you could choose your server roles and whatever. And I was like, "Ah, yeah, whatever." Um, yeah, and that's all this version is. It's just a stripped down version of Neptune. Um, like a really stripped down version of Neptune with one extra app. Oh, you press Enter to unlock now instead of just pressing go through it. I believe the out of box experience is different too. So if we go to the out of box experience, I think this has only got one thing in it. Yeah, here you are. It's just a Windows 10 out of box experience. You type in your username and that's it. You're here. So that's Skylight Server. Now, Skylight Server 2024 was supposed to be a lot better, and it was tied in with Skylight Insider or Serenity. These two versions never got finished. They were in small developments up to around 2024, and that's when I was just like, you know what? I'm done with Skylight because it was becoming it was really hard to work on these versions because everything was really buggy and there wasn't a lot of push in the community at this point. I was just like, man, I really don't want to work on Skylight anymore. So you have the new redesigned, like kind of welcome whatever that used to be a couple of windows. Now it's an actual interface. We'll take a look at Serenity first, and then we'll take a look at Server because it's basically the same. We'll go ahead and start with the installation. And what Serenity was supposed to be was a big improvement, like Neptune was. It was supposed to be even better than Neptune, including finishing up all the apps and all that, making everything look nice. So here's your same as before, pretty much. Uh, Installer. This is not going to be changed at all. You have to click on it now. You can't just continue. We'll skip through this part because it's going to be the exact same. This is now in dark theme. I think this is still going through the domain login, so we'll just skip that. So yeah, that's nice that this is in a darker theme instead of being blindingly bright. You just name your PC. We'll skip that. We'll say hi. And yeah, this version of Skylight had a split taskbar as well. A lot nicer than it was in. I'll remember it. Hold on. Maybe I won't remember it. No, Mirage. So yeah, a lot better than it was in Mirage. But still, I'm not a huge fan of this taskbar layout. It's a lot better than it was, but yeah. Here's the new Skylight menu. You can see there's a ton of Skylight Office apps now. You have Film Point, Communicator, on top of all the other ones. So yeah, there's just a ton of apps in this one. Skylight GPT is still here, and yeah, so you can tell there's just so much going on, and all these apps are still here. These still don't work, and I was at the point where I was like, man, there's so much stuff in Skylight. If I want to go through and update all this, it's gonna take so much work. Um, and I didn't really see a point to it. Enter. This is a version of Enter that we never really got to see. It was based off of Firefox, and you can see this is a lot better than it was before. You had your actual theme, and you have the stylized stuff on the corners. Better looking tab menu. You can view the about box here. New logo for Enter. It's a simplified one. I remember when I first showed off this logo, everyone was like, "Oh no, the simplification! It's even going the Skylight." I'm like, guys, I mean, it looks better though. But yeah, this stuff is gonna be all the same for the most part. I think Amazon. Yeah, you can see this was in development. It was supposed to be redesigned. Skylight.com looks a little bit better. The news, you can see we're supposed to get some new articles as well as some like shopping stuff, but None of that ever really happened. Here's Skylight Office stuff. Relax is now tied into the actual top bar. And then you have the weather, which was slightly redesigned as well. It looks a little bit nicer. Now you can have lo-fi music instead of just whatever, but now it's in full screen by default. And you have to ignore this intro section because it's the intro of the video, but then you get into some lo-fi beats. I think this is Lo-Fi Girl, if I remember correctly. So we'll play like maybe a couple of seconds of lo-fi. So, very relaxing. This would last an hour or whatever, and then it would end. That's all we can play. Google was redesigned. Backgrounds.com. Ooh, look at this. This was a redesign of backgrounds.com. Your home for backgrounds since 2021. You can see we have some AI pictures. This is when AI was starting to get forced onto everybody, and the popular opinions were, or the unpopular opinion of AI was starting to grow. But now, I mean, look at these pictures with AI. Yeah, AI image generation was not very good in 2024. It's kind of crazy how good it got in just a couple of years. Now, I can't even tell when some videos are AI generated, but yep, this is backgrounds.com. You still have the classic three skylights.jpg, skylights 2, and then modern brick. So that's backgrounds.com. Is there any other websites? Download RAM. This hasn't been updated at all, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, that's the version of Enter that we all didn't get. 0.8. Files is the exact same. This never got changed. This never even got touched. Store doesn't exist anymore. Photos app is the same. Media player is going to be the same. So you can see there was only really Enter was the big difference. The clock app is still the same. I think there are some differences. Yeah, you can see this performance report here in the settings and menu, and you can run the test, but it'll break. Yeah, you can see what it was supposed to kind of look like. It was supposed to be like the, I can't remember what it was called in Windows 7, but it was the probably performance report. That's what it was called. Oh wow, Skylight Presenter even blacks out. That was another thing, is things just started breaking like that. And I'm not entirely sure why things started to break like that, but we can just go through and look at them like this. Spreadsheets is different now, so this got an update. Take a look at the new layout here. Looks more like Excel, because I believe I was looking at Excel a little bit more at my original job, and you can see same thing here to Skylight right. Presenter didn't get that change, but I think Film Point, yeah. You can see Skylight Azure, that never happened. Still hasn't never happened. And then we have the Mail app, which this is now more like Outlook. Here's your about. Oops. Still see the same two emails, but except now it's Skylight Mail 0.3. But yeah, that's the Mail app. Then you have Communicator, which this was one of my favorite apps to mess around with, because in the chat you have Jane Doe. Look at that. Jane Doe wants their money. And then you have Big Tony. Big Tony has a deal. And then you have John Sky. John Skylight, CEO of the world. I have contact info down here. CEO of Annoyance, CEO of Big, CEO of the world. You have meetings. This is a group. This is supposed to be like Teams, by the way, and then you have the about Skylight Communicator here. So this is kind of like a Teams thing, and it never really did much. But there's just so much going on here. Here's your new I don't even know what this is called, like utility panel. You can take a screenshot. I thought this was kind of cool. You could view your screenshot, except the background changed since when I took the screenshot. But theoretically, it would be kind of cool to take a screenshot or not. You could mute this, and unmute it. Turn on mobile hotspot. Oh no, that just links to that. That still hasn't changed. Focus doesn't work. But yeah, same old stuff. Here's your notifications panel. It's a little bit reduced. So you can see that, Skylight Serenity had a couple of features going for it, but it really never went anywhere. The year or two from, as Azreen to here, which is 2024, I just really didn't do anything. The entirety of 2025 didn't do anything as well. Here's Skylight Server. We'll go through this, and we'll just start the installation. I don't actually remember if this is any different. Um, yeah, this is going to be the same. Oh, what out of box? Oh, this has got the Windows 10 out of box experience, but without Cortana. Interesting. I wonder why I decided to go with that. We'll sign in. Administrator. Very cool. Here we go. So, yeah, this is extremely buggy. Enter doesn't exist. The icon's still here, though. You have your File Explorer, which is untouched. I was not expecting the media player to still be in here. We'll get to settings in a second, and then you have Task Manager. The Skylight menu is different. It was being developed. It was like a hybrid between what Neptune had and kind of just actually an improvement of what Neptune had. Not really any different from it. But yeah, this was the different Skylight menu. Let's see if I can try to fake my way to the Server Manager 2024. This is what it looked like. It actually does not work. Oh, the clock app is still in here. But yeah, here's Server Manager 2024. It's supposed to actually have a lot more to do. Wow, these are actual things. So you had date and time, power management, notifications, update manager, plugins, and about proxy and firewall. And that's as far as I ever got. Then you have event viewer. This was going to be a new app, but it really never went anywhere. Clock is in here for some reason. Oh, the alarm's going off. But yeah, settings was supposed to be the big app of Skylight Server 2024 because I was bringing back the classics. I could never get away from this control panel, right? I don't know. I love the control panel. You can see I was remaking the control panel from scratch again. Control panel that. Okay, that's an interesting way to say control panel. But yeah, here you go. System rating. That's what it was. I was trying to go through and recreate the control panel, and I got decently far. I just never continued. Like, I like this window pop out here. It looks nice, I guess, and you have backup. So, system security was done. Network and internet doesn't work. Hardware and sound doesn't work. Programs. Oh, oops, I misclicked. Oh, I misclicked again. Happens when things are this small. Yeah, it was really only system security that worked, but yeah, and then that just doesn't work as well. Oh well. This stuff is still here. Yeah, this was based off of Ezri, and this wasn't based off of Serenity. It just had the Serenity, whatever. Yeah, and that's where Skylight was at the end of 2024 and 2025. There really wasn't anything. I just kind of got bored of Skylight. And I was more focusing on life at that point. And that brings us to the end of 2025, where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start working on Skylight again. I wanted to make a little project because Skylight kind of died silently. It never really had it. Hey, I'm done with Skylight. It was kind of just there was nothing coming out from Skylight, so it was a slow kind of death, you could say. And that's when I started working on Skylight Next, or if that's what you want to call it. And this was a macOS kind of similar operating system type thing. This is build 2380. So, and this was built from the ground up. There's actually multiple. If I'm gonna go load up Google Slides here, and there's so many different in a different tab, but there's so many versions of Skylight Next. Because I couldn't just I wanted to recreate it from scratch because it was so bloated and whatever that I wanted to start fresh. So I'm gonna open up the two that I have. I guess the third one's gone because I remember there was going to be there was three of them, but I guess there's only two. This one I started from scratch, and it was supposed to look like Windows 9X. So starting Skylight. Here's your setup. It see this didn't work out very well because it had stuff down here, and it told you like, oh, click continue, and then it's like, oh, use your click continue, and then oh, use enter or whatever, and then it would format your C drive, and you press enter, and then it's like, oh, here's your graphical setup. Except I don't have 8-bit icons and whatever. So yeah, this is all it went to is here. It looks kind of cool. It looks like Windows 9X, very intentionally so. It's just I never really did anything with it. Oh, this is what part three is, and then here's Skylight Next part three because I don't know what happened to part two. And this is a very weird version of Skylight. This was based off of a Windows 7 recreation I made in Google Slides. You can see the classic window bar text here. I'm not sure why that's there. Um, this is my attempt at recreating Skylight. But Windows 7. This looks the same as it did before, but with some different buttons, and it looks like Windows 7. Yeah, it looks like Windows 7. This is very far. It's weird to see Skylight I always say NEXT because it's XT kernel, and then you have the N and then the small E, but whatever. It's weird to see that stuff on here. You can see there's the installer, and it skips through that. And then it just says Windows 7 Ultimate. Why not? Yeah, let's go and make a Windows 7. You can see that I made this in 2023. This is a very, very good recreation of Windows 7 in Google Slides, I will admit. Yeah, here's Windows 7. You click on the taskbar and it goes full screen. Yeah, this is it really didn't get past the um build. And then you can look on through here. This is just a screenshot. Yeah, this is just a screenshot. Everything else, I'm pretty sure it's just Skylight Neptune. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, and then you don't even get the background all the way back here. It's just Skylight Neptune. Always has been. And this is different. This was a Mac OS recreation, and this is the one I actually stuck with. So here we are at the choice screen. We'll go in and install. We'll go and load up our new version of Skylight. And the reason I went with Mac OS as a base for this one is just because I wanted to try something different. Try something that looks really nice. So here's the choose your drive screen. You go and choose this. It goes and loads. About a minute remaining. I don't know what just dropped. Oh, I see. It's my USB-C cord. I think, yeah. Click cancel. I also believe you can go in here. Yeah, you can view the. Oh, you actually can't. Oh, weird. We'll skip through this. The out of box experience has not changed, but you can see I have Azure in here because I thought I was gonna do something with that. You can click on the icon and it says, "Hey, this will take you out." We'll agree. And then we have the Mac chime, of course. Gotta make it just like Mac OS, right? As soon as this boots up, yeah, we'll enter our password and we're in. We have this top bar, and you can see here I was messing with this bottom bar concept, even while I had this like top bit up here. But this is the final design I ended up staying with because it just looks so nice. I was able to find something that worked, and of course we still have this about screen. You can see I had that fancy animation that we ended up getting rid of, and you can go to the lock screen through here. So it was supposed to be a lot more like Mac OS than it actually was now. You can see the button there. And I think this is it. Oh, yeah, here's your Media player app redesign. And I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. And then you also had the settings being redesigned as well. And I never really liked the way these looked, especially with the small little X there. So we'll move on the Skylight next. Build 9155. We'll click continue. You can see this has been redone to how it is now. Because I wanted to include the help thing there, because I was like, oh, I wrote all that down for basically no reason up to that point. So you can see our top bar is now gone. So it's just our window here. We'll skip through this because that takes forever to load. We'll skip through this. Go through all this. We'll agree. Through all this. Still has the Mac chime. So nothing's different here. But when you get to the desktop here, it is different. So we have our weather, which isn't actually in yet. Oh, weird. Oh, I know why it does that. So, oh no. Okay, so interesting. That's an interesting bug. I might have to go and fix that. There's on the startup slides. There's a timer that pushes you forward 15 seconds. But yeah, here you have the Skylight menu, and you can view the about thing now. And we actually have an X on the icon there. Here's Luna, which is still in development to this very day. Just working on it. Media player is still being worked on at this point, but you can see we have our window buttons kind of mostly finalized. Here's settings. This is pretty much finished. No longer the killer app of the operating system. You can check for updates. This is still very similar to how it was before in Skylight, because once you make it, like, you make it look really nice in previous version, it's hard to make it not look nice. The Paint app, this is one of the functional apps because Google added the little drawing feature in Google Slides recently, and so I wanted to take advantage of the drawing that you can do. I wanted green. Yeah, so you can draw on 4 different colors, technically 3 plus black. You press Shift L, and this saves automatically. So if you can go and close out the app, and then you can open it back up, and it's saved. And you have 3 different slots you can go and draw in. Here's your world clock, timers, and stopwatch. These are just slightly redesigned. You can cancel it, and it will still in 60 seconds move you on. Terminal, probably the most useless app in Skylight. And then Files has not even been started yet. Your stuff over here's got some works and stuff. You can click on. You can turn it off, turn it on, and all that stuff. I think that's it for this version of Skylight. Yeah, so you can see the fundamentals are just being built out, and that brings us to where we are today. Cerulean 1.0, totally built from the ground up. That's why it has a different build number. This is another invisible line right here. And since this is a new quote unquote kernel, like, this is built from the ground up. And I mean that in the way from, like, here, let's just go to Skylight Insider, and then we'll go to Skylight 0.3, because I think this is the one that, like, the original copy. I believe that version 2 and version 1 are not the original copies. They all just kind of were into Skylight 0.3. So we'll go to the desktop here, and we'll go to the desktop here. And I'm going to copy some of these icons. Not all of these are going to work, but if I copy these here, it's going to look very interesting in the history tab. Skylight menu doesn't work. This doesn't work. But Enter does. Look at that. Enter works. Files work. I think those are going to be the only 2, because, all these programs weren't added yet. But yeah, you click on the Enter icon, and it actually works still from Serenity to Skylight version 0.3, because they're all linked to the same slides, because it was just duplicated. I just go and make a copy, and it'd keep all the metadata for each slide. But since this is built from the ground up, that no longer works, so it gets its own new build numbers. So we'll continue from here. This is the official release of Skylight, so there shouldn't be too many bugs. Although, ever since Skylight, Azul. There's been bugs all over the operating system, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is a bunch. So you can, say, "Hey, I want to, add a drive," and then it doesn't detect it. Um, as this loads up, about a minute remaining, goes up. We'll skip it. Click continue. Restarts. Now this should be automated. I shouldn't have to do anything here. That was one thing I did want to add a lot of in Skylight was a lot of automation. So yeah, there you go. I didn't press the key there. So we'll go through this. You can see this pops up automatically because I didn't think anyone was gonna click on that. So I was like, oh, I'll just have it pop up to be some context. So we'll let it set up. And after I believe 15 seconds. Yep, here we go. We're booting up. And here we are. We'll sign in. And this is the current release. So we have the weather widget right here. You can see it's pretty cold and snowing. I wish Skylight Cerulean came out a little bit earlier, so these were a little bit more accurate. This was probably made in early January. It's just that getting everything finalized took so long. Luna is still in development, but that's okay. We don't need a web browser. Here's your media viewer. So you have pictures, you have audio. You can see it pops open a little player right here as you listen. Settings app, just like it was before. You can view the default or some of the apps here, and then you can view the default apps for each thing. Update's still the same. The Paint app is still the same. Terminal is still the same. Clock is still the same. But we have files. In files, you can go and view all your documents. You can go in this PC, go in the system drive, and you can see, oh, that's got hidden files. So we can go up to our local, then our users, then our user account, and then it brings us back to home. We have our settings over here that are the same, and that's Skylight Cerulean. Very basic, very, there's not a lot in Cerulean, and that was one of the big advertising things was that, hey, this is really easy to run. This is only, I believe, 80 slides. If I go and look at the website, yeah, just 80 slides in Skylight Cerulean. So that's from there only being a handful of apps and everything kind of being slimmed down because I wanted to start Skylight on to be fresh, right? I wanted to start it with just some few apps, nothing special really, and then build it up from there, right? Kind of similar to how Skylight was before, where each version upgrades the operating system in some little way. But each version number is going to be a lot hopefully better than the last. After going through all the different versions of Skylight, because this is the most recent. This was released on Saturday. You kind of saw a theme that, hey, there wasn't really much of an update to each individual version or version. Goodness, apologize, can't get my words out today. But after looking at this, I'm happy where Skylight's at right now, and I'm excited where Skylight is going. I'm gonna probably regret doing this later, but I'm gonna go and show you a sneak peek at what the new development version is of Skylight. I've been kind of working on it off and on, not a huge priority. And you can see it's been teasing you guys the whole time. XT version 2. Nothing is different in the out-of-box experience yet. So we'll go to the desktop. And as you can see, new background, of course. This will probably be what ships. And, at first glance, nothing's going to look different. Actually, pretty much everything's going to look the same, except we have a new Skylight menu. I'm trialing some different looks right now. This is what we're settled on. Files has got a new layout on the top. We have some new window buttons. I like these a lot more than just the circles. But, I'm going to go redesign this whole app. I'm going to try to redesign pretty much every app again. Let's see if I can get to the about version. Nope. You can see Luna's getting some work done on it, but yeah. So here's Skylight Zephyr. This is version 2. Hopefully, we actually finish this one in a reasonable amount of time and actually has quite a few updates. But this is about it for now. And we actually incorporate sleep into this version, so you can actually make the computer go to sleep, and then you wake it up. And it looks like you woke it up. That's actually kind of cool. And these, of course, open up a new context menu, being like, "Hey, do you actually want to shut down?" And then you can click shut down, just like in macOS, because even though we're kind of making it look different than macOS, we're kind of making it look just like macOS. As you can see the boot screen there. So that's where we're at right now. You can see backgrounds change every so often, so it's a very incomplete version of Skylight. You can see everything else is still the same, but this is what we're working on. Only a couple days after the release of Cerulean, we're here on Zephyr. So this is the code name. This is not the final name, so we'll probably change it a little bit from there. And of course, all the different changes. It's a development build. We're gonna work on it a little bit. So that's it for Skylight. I believe that's all the different versions. We've gone through every one on the list here except the development builds, because we can't go through every single one and see every single little detail ever, but it just takes way too long. But if you watch these in the future, hope you enjoyed having a couple of hours of me just ranting about Skylight. But if you watched it live, which I don't think really anyone did, but if you did, thank you for watching it live. But that will wrap it up from me. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. But if you want to stay tuned on what Skylight does next, go to the Skylight website. That's right here. Sites.google.com/view/Skylight official/home. I know it's a lot to type in, but that's the website. You can see on here. You can learn more about Cerulean. Just redid all of the website as well in Google Sites, because gotta keep it in the Google ecosystem. So I just redid everything here. So if you also want to check out the Skylight OS page, which reminds me, this is where I need to go and update. You can see Skylight's on here, but I need to actually update this. So we have Skylight Cerulean on the community-made operating systems. This is also a really cool website if you want to go to slidesoshub.com. This has got all the different websites the community has made. You can make your own, upload them here. All you gotta do is just say, "Hey, Mixer Dude, fill out I think there's a form on here, and you say, 'Hey, Mixer Dude, can I have my operating system on here?'" And there's some cool ones on here. We like Gemstone. This is one of my favorites. This on here. And wow, there's even a mobile. Oh right, mobile version now. So there's even this one. I haven't actually seen this one yet. So this is a very nice looking one as well. You can see it looks very nice. I was a little worried when I saw this one. I'm like, wow, this is actually really nice looking. Whoever made this did a great job. I actually haven't seen mobile yet, so maybe I'll take a peek at it too. Okay. Okay, I see how it is. Well, this is cool, and it looks like Android. Wow, this is actually done very well. Just looking at it through here without all of the animations and stuff. I mean, man. So whoever makes all this gemstone stuff, you're doing really good. This is very nice. I applaud you, and I hope you continue making stuff, because this is very impressive. Man, it looks just like Android. I'm actually very surprised. There is a Skylight mobile build somewhere out there, but it's really bad. So we'll never see that one. We'll never see that one. But yeah, very cool. Slidesoshub.com if you want to go check that one out. Not sponsored, but I highly recommend you check out this website and join the OS community if you're interested. Other than that, that's it for me. Thank you guys again for watching or staying with us to the end. And I think that will wrap it up. Let's see if I can do this correctly this time, because I do have an ending stream thing. And here we go. Goodbye, everybody.